in US history. Joe Tidy, BBC News.
With me is technology author and commentator Stephanie Hare. Thanks very much for coming in. So he knows he's going to prison. How long do you think he'll get in the end?
Well, his lawyers would like a handful of years, 5 to 6, and US prosecutors are calling for about 50. So we'll probably see something around, I think 25 could be a reasonable guess at this stage.
And do you think, what do you think about the verdict that was handed down to him? Did that seem fair?
Oh, for sure. This is an egregious crime, and the commentator that was just talking before absolutely had it spot on. There's nothing new about money laundering and fraud. It's one of the oldest things in law, and they have to throw the book at him to make an example for the rest of the world because cryptocurrency is still highly unregulated.
And how much damage has he done, do you think, to the whole idea of cryptocurrency or the brand of it?
Well, he maybe has done a great public service in showing that this is, in many ways, a Ponzi scheme. Totally unregulated. There's a reason central banks are not going near it yet. And really, it's a great thing for when people say that regulation would hamper technological innovation. This shows what happens when you don't regulate. People can't have confidence.
It's interesting, though, that after it happened, cryptocurrency seemed to fall in value and people seemed to lose confidence. But in the meantime, it's gone shooting back up. So do you think people have just forgotten, or why do you think that is?
Because we're living in a very frothy time with regards to both artificial intelligence assets and cryptocurrencies. It's a rise and fall, boom and bust cycle. We're just waiting for the next bust.
And do you the other thing that I suppose was interesting is that it was partly, it was kind of in some ways, it was a con thing, wasn't it? And he took in an awful lot of very established and well-known figures, didn't he?
Yeah, there's a famous picture of him sharing a stage with former President Bill Clinton and former Prime Minister Tony Blair. So absolutely, everybody was looking for the next male tech genius, wearing a hoodie, a little bit unconventional, messy hair. For some reason, they think that those behaviors are coded to innovation, but it isn't.
So you mentioned that so far, that there's a lack of regulation in that sphere. What do you think needs to happen with cryptocurrencies?
It needs to be regulated to the point that it becomes boring, like every other financial asset.
And do you think at the moment the fact that it's not boring and it's not regulated is what makes it appealing?
Yes, it's the currency of choice of criminals, money launderers, terrorists, and sex offenders.
And so, if he does get sentenced and there is quite a harsh sentence, will that be a deterrent, do you think, for people?
I'm sure that most people like to think that something like that would never happen to them. That's the problem. That's why you need governments and legislators to act and pass laws, and regulators need to be absolutely on the case because people are always looking for a quick buck.
Stephanie Hare, thank you very much indeed for going to talk to us. Thank you.
Thank you.